Her mother started crying, but Amaka didn't stop. When I refused, she called me ungrateful and lazy. She said I didn't care about the family, but I couldn't stay in that house anymore, so I ran away. You are not my mother. Amaka sat with her friends on the benches outside her department at Bright Future University. It was a sunny day, and they were laughing about a funny story one of them had just shared. Amaka loved moments like this when she could forget her worries and just enjoy her new life at the university. As they chatted, a woman appeared in the distance, walking towards them. Her clothes were old and dusty. Her slippers looked like they might break any moment, and she carried a small nylon bag. The woman's face lit up when she saw Amaka. She quickened her steps and called out loudly, "Amaka, my daughter." Amaka's laughter stopped immediately. She froze, staring at the woman with wide eyes. "Who is that?" one of her friends asked. I don't know," Amaka stammered, looking down at her hands. The woman came closer, her voice filled with excitement. "Amaka, it's me, your mother. Look at you, so beautiful now. I'm so proud of you." Amaka stood up slowly, her heart pounding. Everyone around her was staring now. "I don't know you," she said quietly, her voice shaking. The woman looked confused. "Amaka, stop playing. It's me, your mama." "I said I don't know you," Amaka snapped, louder this time. Her friends exchanged puzzled looks. "Is she really your mother?" one of them whispered. Amaka bit her lip, avoiding their eyes. The woman looked hurt. Tears filled her eyes as she reached out to Amaka. "Why are you denying me, my daughter? Don't you recognize your mother?" The murmurs grew louder among the students. "Why is she pretending not to know her?" one asked. "Maybe she's ashamed because of how the woman looks," another suggested. Amaka couldn't take it anymore. Her chest felt tight, and her eyes burned with unshed tears. She yelled, "Fine. Yes, she's my mother. Are you all happy now?" The crowd fell silent. Everyone stared, waiting for Amaka to explain. The woman's hopeful smile returned, but Amaka's face was filled with anger and pain. She looked at the woman and then at the curious crowd. Something inside her was about to break. Amaka stood there, breathing heavily, her fists clenched. The crowd of students was silent, waiting to hear what she had to say. Her mother looked at her with confusion and sadness, not understanding why Amaka was so upset. Tears started rolling down Amaka's cheeks as she spoke. "You all want to know why I denied her? Fine, I will tell you." She pointed at the woman. "This is the woman who tried to ruin my life." Gasps echoed through the crowd. Her friends looked at each other in shock. Amaka wiped her tears and continued. "When I was 16, my father died. He used to provide for us, but after he was gone, everything became hard. We didn't have money for food or school fees. I thought my mother would try to find a way to take care of us, but instead, she said I had to help the family by doing terrible things." The crowd leaned in closer listening. "She wanted me to go out with rich men old enough to be my father, so they would give us money." Amaka's voice cracked as she spoke. She said it was the only way for us to survive, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't let anyone destroy my future. Her mother started crying, but Amaka didn't stop. When I refused, she called me ungrateful and lazy. She said I didn't care about the family, but I couldn't stay in that house anymore, so I ran away. One of Amaka's friends whispered, "What did you do after that?" Amaka took a deep breath and continued. "I went to a different town and found a job as a sales girl in a small shop. I worked every day, morning to night, earning little money. But I didn't give up. I saved every naira I could. I told myself I would go to school one day and make something of my life." The students nodded, impressed by her determination. "After 2 years, I had enough money to pay for my university admission. I also met another sales girl like me, and together, we started a small hair salon. We saved up, bought supplies, and mom, we ran the salon. That's how I pay for my school fees and take care of myself. I didn't need to do anything shameful to get here." Amaka wiped her face again and looked at her mother. "So now you know. That's why I didn't want to call her my mother. She tried to destroy my future, but I refused to let her. The students were silent for a moment, and then one of them spoke up. Amaka, you are so strong. I can't believe you have gone through all that and still made it this far. Her mother stayed crying, dropped to her knees. Amaka, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I didn't know what else to do. Please forgive me. Amaka looked at her mother but didn't say anything. The pain in her eyes was clear. The crowd watched, unsure of what would happen next. The air was thick with silence as Amaka stood there, her eyes still filled with hurt. Her mother was on her knees, crying and begging for forgiveness. The other students watched closely, some of them whispering to each other, while others felt the weight of Amaka's pain. Amaka's heart was torn. She had spent so many years struggling, and now, here was the woman who had hurt her, asking for forgiveness. But could she truly forgive someone who had almost destroyed her future? Amaka took a deep breath and slowly wiped her tears. She looked at her mother, her voice soft but firm. I've already forgiven you a long time ago, Mama, she said quietly. But forgiveness doesn't mean I have to forget what you did. What you did was wrong, and it hurt me deeply. You tried to make me do something I couldn't do, and you didn't even think about what was best for me. Her mother sobbed harder, her voice breaking. I know, Amaka. I was desperate. I didn't know what else to do. I thought maybe you could help us survive, but I see now that I was wrong. I've learned my lesson. Amaka paused, thinking about how much her life had changed. She had fought so hard to get to where she was, and now she had to decide if she was ready to give her mother another chance. I can't let you back into my life yet, Mama, Amaka said gently. You have to show me that you understand the damage you caused. You have to show me that you really want to change, not just for me, but for yourself. Her mother nodded. Stay crying. I will, Amaka. I promise. I'll do whatever it takes to make it right. Amaka took one last look at her mother before turning to her friends and the students who had gathered around. This isn't just about me, she said, her voice stronger now. It's about knowing that we can all be better than the choices we're given. Life may not always be fair, but that doesn't mean we should give up on what's right. I work hard for everything I have, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud of the woman I've become, no matter what anyone else says. The students clapped, cheering for Amaka. Some were wiping away tears, touched by her strength. Others admired the way she had stood up for herself, even when it wasn't easy. Her mother, now standing, looked at Amaka with a new respect. I'll prove to you that I can change, she said softly. Amaka nodded, but there was still a small part of her that felt unsure. Would her mother really change? Only time would tell. From that day, Amaka became more than just a student at Bright Future University. She became a symbol of courage and strength. Her story inspired many students to never give up on their dreams, no matter how difficult their lives seemed. And though the road to healing was long, Amaka knew she had made the right choice. As for her mother, she began the hard work of rebuilding their relationship, showing Amaka that step by step, she could become the mother she had always needed.